Hello again, this is Sam Houston, and welcome to My Front Porch. Now is the time to act boldly and with conviction. This upcoming election is a watershed moment in the history of our county. I say watershed because I truly believe the outcome of several issues on the ballot will determine the level of success and progress of our community for years to come. There are not many occasions when such a political crossroads is before the electorate. It's the standard practice of the Hood County News to report on the issues of the day. As publisher, I have taken the position that as a newspaper, we will present facts and let the electorate decide which candidates or issues to support. In the past, we have resisted making endorsements of a candidate or of a specific issue. In the past few weeks, I have researched, investigated, and reflected on the bond issue proposals on our upcoming election ballot and feel strongly that the evidence is overwhelming that the bond should be supported. The consequence of their failing is so impactful that for the first time under my leadership, the Hood County News is publicly endorsing the two propositions. This is the first in nearly 6 years I have been at the helm of the Hood County News that I am confident it is necessary for the betterment of the community. This decision has not been made without a lot of careful consideration. Why now do we make an endorsement? Why these two proposals? Simply put, it's time for citizens to put to rest their fear, political agendas, and rhetoric and make decisions about our collective future based on economics, sound business practices, and the future needs and welfare of our community. We can no longer let emotion, unfounded concerns, and political slogans determine the best course of action for our collective good. Enough is enough. Years ago, a prior watershed moment for Hood County was the failure to allow a nuclear plant to be built. I was not a resident at the time of the decision, but from the newspaper archives and other sources, I'm told people were against a nuclear plant for fear of an industrial accident that might result in large-scale death and devastation. The result was no nuclear plant was built in Hood County. Consequently, the construction site was moved 10 miles down the road, next door in Somerville County. The safety risk is still with us. The only difference is that all the tax dollars which the nuclear plant has paid since its inception have gone into the coffers of Somerville County instead of Hood County. In the year 2025 alone, the amount of that tax was over $31 million. Do a little cowboy math in your head and estimate how much tax revenue that would have been over the past 50 years. A rather princely amount of income to add to the budget by almost any standard. I would like to think that at the time the people who were against the nuclear plant intended to make a good decision, and I'm not trying to play Monday morning quarterback here, but I am pretty sure if your concern and reason to vote against the plant was for safety reasons, you missed the boat. If the nuclear plant were to have a major accident, the fact that we're 10 miles further from ground zero will not save us. We'll be just as dead as the people in Glenrose, only they will have had the benefit of millions of dollars of tax revenue to build up their community while reducing the tax burden on their residents. The negative vote did not destroy the risk. It simply allowed fear to destroy the benefits which were available. It was a poor decision based on false assumptions. Our county jail was built in 1995 and was designed to hold 192 inmates. The Jail Standards Commission mandates that a portion of those cells must remain open for emergency needs, which means that only 178 cells are routinely occupied. Over the past 2 years, the average inmate population has been 233, which means the surplus inmates have to be taken to a location in another county to be housed. In turn, the location bills Hood County for the cost of their housing of inmates. Last year, Hood County spent tens of thousands of dollars This, of course, doesn't include the ancillary costs, such as the time of the deputies who transfer the inmates, the fuel and wear and tear on county vehicles, or the additional staff which log hours because of the need to transport prisoners back and forth from a distant location, rather than working on police matters right here in Hood County. Our county has outgrown the current jail. Try to remember that what Granbury was like when it was built in 1995. The county's population has grown from 41,000 in the year 2000 to 61,958 in 2020. Conservative estimates would put the current population near 70,000, with an annual projected growth rate of at least 2%. There is no reason to expect our jail numbers will go down, and every reason to expect they'll continue to grow. This means even more money going out each month to house inmates at some distant location. Remember, this is not a fixed cost. The host jail can raise its charges as it seems fit, or simply stop accepting inmates. What do we do then? At the current rate of expenditure, Hood County will spend nearly $251 million between now and 2047 for housing inmates. If the jail bond is passed and the new jail structure is constructed, those costs would be reduced to $209 million, saving taxpayers $42 million, which can be used for other aspects of the county budget. This is a chance to save money and have better facilities and have better control of future costs. It allows our resources to be spent in Hood County, serving Hood County, not paying for another county's facilities. If the bond is defeated this year, the county will have no alternative but to keep coming back to taxpayers asking for another bond to fix the jail issue. It's not going to go away. Each year, the matter is kicked down the road. All aspects of construction and the associated expenses thereof continue to increase. And when finally undertaken, the project will cost even more money. This is a case of paying now or paying more later. We'll pay one way or the other, but by acting now, we can act as economically and efficiently as possible and eliminate the problems of an inadequate jail sooner than later. Saying yes to the bond issue is so obvious that all 5 county commissioners voted to place the issue on the ballot. When was the last time the deeply divided commissioners court came together on such an important issue, especially one involved spending large sums of money? The bond is also supported by both the Hood County Republicans and the United Republicans of Hood County, as well as the Democrats of Hood County. The people in the know understand what needs to be done. The only people who seem to be opposed are the small vocal minority who somehow confuse prudent financial management and planning for the future with tyranny and oppression. They offer no alternative solutions, only the same sad old complaints. They don't get that none of us like to give our hard-earned wages to pay taxes. But most of us are adult enough to understand that we have a responsibility and an obligation to our friends and families and neighbors to provide the public services that are required to make Hood County a quality place to live. This is what grown-ups do. We come together and work to find solutions to problems. We don't just say no because yes requires us to give something to the community we love or because a political platform asks us to do so. You may have seen flyers or Facebook posts which ask voters to, quote, don't jail our kids' future, or, quote, bonds are bondage. It's difficult to respond to such a jingoistic slogan because on their face they're so ridiculous and misguided. In the adult world of business and governmental finance, bonds are what allows cities to fund major projects for the betterment of the community. It's not unlike a homeowner taking a mortgage when he purchases the house. Few people would ever be able to afford a home if they had to pay for the total cost up front. With government, some projects are so large they require bonds to pay over time while improving government services now. It's how cities and county governments across the country build needed roads, add to new sewer systems, build fire stations, and yes, even build jails. The only people who believe they're in bondage because of a bond are those who don't want to see any improvements. They don't want to see a community thrive or improve, nor do they offer any solutions. They only want to complain about paying taxes. We all know that improvements cost money, which I admit no one is eager to pay. But it's part of the social contract and part of our responsibility as a citizen. In this instance, our spending money saves us money in a bunch of different ways. It's a prudent way to conduct our business. As for the argument of bonds burdening our future generations, our inaction and willingness to improve our community is a far greater consequence than just the debt on the bond. No one wishes to unduly burden future generations, but at the same time, I want my grandchildren to live in a community which has a quality of life which operates efficiently and effectively. We should all want to live in a community where paying our fair share of taxes is a citizen's obligation, but where the citizens get an extraordinary return on their investment through a better quality of life. If our city and county governments would operate under the mindset of just say no to anything that has to do with tax, pretty soon would have a place where no one wanted to live. Property values would drop, community service would lessen, roads would deteriorate, and life for those future children would be burdened in a great many ways. This is an important moment in time. Vote yes on the jail bond, which is Proposition A on your ballot. Vote to save money, and vote to have more efficient and effective jail. It's the responsible vote for a better community. Thought for the day. I hate paying taxes, but I love the civilizations they give me. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Until next time, I'll keep riding the storm out.
You've been listening to From My Front Porch with Sam Houston, brought to you by the Granbury Theater Company. You can catch Sam's column every week in the print edition of the Hood County News or online at hcnews.com.